Going on YouTube? It is your buddy, everybody's buddy, Car Craftsman, back from a long hiatus of making videos just to come back today and give you this banger. Now I'm out front of everybody's favorite discount tool store, and that would be Hazard Freight or Harbor Freight, whatever you want to call it. But today I'm going to go in here and search for some things that I've always wanted to, or search for some things that I need to complete this project that I've always wanted to do. And the project today is going to be on my 1999 Honda CR-V. And the project I've always actually been looking to do is to cut a hole in the top of my car. I mean, a big hole. So what I'm going to do today is go inside here and look for a couple things that I've actually thought about using in order to make that happen. We're going to put a hole in there and then use some kind of fabric to cover that hole and hopefully make it as waterproof and weatherproof as we possibly can. So come on with me. Thanks for watching. Now, while I already have all the tools that I'm pretty sure I'm going to need in order to complete the job, what I'm actually looking for is like some button downs, some weatherproof material, hopefully some kind of canvas to put up there, and then, you know, whatever else I feel like buying. But I'm going to scour these aisles and hopefully find something here. Here's my Harbor Freight heavy duty tarp, 12 mil it says, black and silver here, and yeah, I think that's what I'm going to need. And then I went out and got these. Now these are real similar to what you would see on a tonneau cover, I think, and I think I'm going to be able to either self-tap or nut and bolt these straight through my roof here, and I think I'm going to be able to put that right through my vinyl tarp and then snap it right to my roof. This is going to be really interesting. I got a little bit of vinyl glue here just in case I have to make a hem or something to try to make that a little bit stronger. The tarp was about 15-16 bucks. The glue was about $8, and this set here was about 40. A little bit expensive, but I think this is going to work out real good. We're going to find out. Alright, so I'm trying to come up with a solid plan of winging it. Yeah, you heard me right. So, this is obviously my roof. Some of the things I had to contend with are these ribs in the back. And then there's probably some support structures underneath this sheet metal right here. This is what I plan on cutting through, and I'm going to want to leave enough space in order to make sure that my buttons go down on there and that everything gets secured down tight. And what I'm thinking is, I know that having all that tarp without any kind of support is just going to be flapping in the wind like crazy as soon as you start driving down the street. So what I'm actually thinking is maybe keeping some part of the roof here for a support in the center. That way I'm not flapping around so much. So maybe I'm going to cut two holes in this thing. One big one here and one big one here, leaving a strip in the middle for that support that I was just talking about. I think this is going to work out better than what I even expected, but I'm also pretty sure my first attempt at making the tarp rigid enough so that it's not annoying driving down the street is going to be a little bit challenging. I'd really like to be able to put like some corrugated plastic sandwiched in between the tarp and another layer of tarp. I think that's really going to give it the rigidity that I want, as well as allow me to maybe fold up a section of it and just use maybe one of the holes that I cut out at a time. But I am so itching to get in with a grinder and start chopping this thing up. I'm going to set up my grinder now. So I'm hoping with some crude tools and a little bit of intelligence, because that's all I got, I'm going to be able to successfully lay out my whole pattern here. Like I said, I think I am going to use just a little bit for, leave some there for bracing, and I already got an idea of what I want to do in my head. It's time to execute. So I'm going to put my 90 right along that line there and make a couple tick marks in order to lay out my pattern here. And I think I'm going to leave a brace about as wide as this thing here for two different reasons. I think I could go to the junkyard and get one of these out of the junkyard and then put that down here on the roof line in order to keep this curve, and then for some added bracing too. I don't know if I'm going to completely eliminate the whole piece of the roof here to make the hole, and if I do, I think one of these would fill in as a brace very nicely. So what I'm going to do is catch that straight edge there, catch the straight edge on the other side of the roof, make a couple tick marks, lay a chalk line to just make sure I got it straight here, and I'll come back and fill you guys in when I get this layout here. Do you really want to see me do a layout? I have full trust in whoever is watching my videos that you are a borderline genius with autism. Just kidding, guys. And I'm not making fun of anybody with autism. I would have probably been on the spectrum if I was diagnosed 20 years later than what I was with ADHD. But anyway, so here's my border. This is where I think my tarp is going to stay. This is where I'm going to put my rows of rivets, and that's my border. Everything you see with the X is going to be cut out, and I lay this out in such a way that I hope to not make any mistakes when I cut. But you can see it coming together. My layout's looking pretty good, and I believe in you. If you really want to chop your car up, I believe in you. So this is what I got. I'm going to start cutting with my $10 Harbor Freight angle grinder with a death wheel on it. You can't be scared to do this kind of stuff. Don't follow my direction. Please put a guard on your angle grinder and use protective equipment. Here we go. Can't wait. Now, obviously, if you're going to do anything like this, you do want to be careful of what's underneath of your sheet metal and where you're going to be cutting away at. I did take into consideration those lights right there. I do not care at all about the dome light, though. I don't even care if it stays there or not. I'm only going to be cutting through the sheet metal, so I'm not going to be cutting through the headliner all in one fell swoop. I'm hopefully going to use another tool to make sure I do that a little bit more accurately than what a angle grinder might do. So let's do it. So whenever I'm doing a project like this where I'm just winging it, a lot of times I like to do one side at a time, reevaluate the situation, and then maybe do the other side. So right now this is what we have going on. I was pretty sure there was going to be braces up underneath of that sheet metal, and here we are now. These braces are there to stiffen up the roof, keep the unibody straight, and all kinds of other stuff. This right here is where my dome light looks to be, and this right here is my headliner. I'm obviously going to have to go through both of those things in order to make this thing really nice, but yeah, my cuts look good. I was pretty sure this is about what I was going to see when I got up under there. I was hoping a little bit that maybe this bracket would be back there, but I'm winging it, you know what I mean? Now when it comes to the brackets, I really think I'm going to cut them off. At least this front edge here, and then slicing it maybe around there, and then maybe filling in this gap here with some panel bond just to make sure this rib here will stay and add a little bit of rigidity. And I think with the panel bond it's not going to be flapping around or anything like that. But I don't see too much that I'm going to change when I cut out this front part, and yeah, I'll bring it back when I'm done with that. All right, let's see how good my cut was. Almost. Look at that. Alright, I got bare hands. I'm not handling that edge right now, but I'm going to pop that off. Alright, we got a big ass hole in our roof. It's looking pretty good though, right? Yeah. Handling an angle grinder is something I'm pretty decent at. It's got to go. It's getting sliced. It's getting sliced. Taking that out completely. This part has a nice rigid piece up underneath of here. All right. That's what it's looking like on the inside. I got a little crazy, carried away with the Sawzall, but I actually like the footprint that it's leaving in here a lot, and you can see right through it. Dome lights KO'd. That thing's got to get out of the way. You'll see here the footprint that has, and I found the power wire that feeds it. We'll make that work again. But I really like the way that back one came out, and I did have to go and get the Sawzall to make this cut flush and look nice. There's still enough bracing there where if I put panel bond and glue that to that, it ain't nothing happening there. This bracing is a little bit different. You could see how little bracing I actually did get to leave. But I think if I create a hat shape to go up underneath of here and glue that to it, I don't think we're going to have any problems. I really do like that I left this here for a little bit of stiffness. I know that doesn't make sense right now, but it will. This will make a good stiffener here. The front's looking good. Was able to keep my front dome light going. No interference there. My hole comes out a little bit bigger, and I'm really digging the way this is turning out. So when it comes to tools, nothing is out of the realm for me. I will literally use anything that I think is going to work. So this is actually a really nice butter knife, I guess you would call this thing, that I picked up from the thrift store for really cheap. It's pretty sturdy in the sense that it doesn't flex, and what I got it for was probably doing some plastic welding. If you go back and look at my channel, you'll actually see an example of that, where you heat something like this up and you're able to smear certain types of plastics in order to fix a crack or to do a little bit of body work or something like that. But I heated it up with my dab rig, my propane tank here, and got it red hot for a little bit, and I thought it was just going to go and slice the hell out of this fabric, but it didn't. And the Sawzall is cutting it a whole lot cleaner than what I'm getting with this. This method typically works with stuff like carpet or any kind of like nylon plastic material. For this instance, it ain't working. I'm gonna get the Sawzall on it. Little test run, see where my weakest spots are, how bad this thing is vibrating. Let's check it out. My rear view mirror definitely has some shape to it that I didn't have before. I find that a little bit interesting. Obviously, I removed 3 pieces of bracing here, and that's not going to stiffen anything up. Looks to be some good vibration going on there, but I really think I can stiffen that up quite a bit. Thing is going as good as can be expected. The cuts look good. Headliner still looks pretty decent from being cut with a Sawzall, and yeah, everything's going good. And I kind of expected this to happen. You know what I mean? Once you take a lot of the bracing out of a roof, this is obviously what's going to happen, right? So the one thing that I am going to do is, so this is the front bracing that came out of here. I think I'm going to just put this, clean that old adhesive off, put this under here like this, and glue that fast to that, and I'm pretty sure that's going to give that the rigidity that I'm looking for. It's obviously not connected all the way down like the rest of the supports are, but I think that's going to give it just enough rigidity in there to really make a difference, actually. I got a pretty hard buckle right there. Now I'm hoping that's not the unibody telling me that I really messed up, and I really don't think it is, but it does concern me a little bit there. And then looking at this last piece, like what I was saying earlier about maybe finding one of these in the junkyard and using it as a brace, you could see how that thing matches that contour really well right there. So even if I don't use this piece here, I would think if I could find another one of those bars in the junkyard, I'd be able to just do it quick to it. Yeah, I'm really digging the way it's coming out. We're going to go with part 2 of making the tarp fit this thing and snap up on there good. And I'm also going to be looking for a wind deflector too for the front. This being sloped up is obviously going to catch a lot of wind and send it right underneath of my tarp, and I know that's going to give me a whole lot of windage issues. So I really wouldn't mind finding a bug shield or something to deflect the air up over top, but I'm digging it so far. So quick update here. I know I didn't do this on camera or anything like that, but I went ahead and laid out the snaps that I'm going to be using for the tarp, and I got them just held on there right now with just some sheet metal screws, and I think I'm actually going to replace them with rivets. But yeah, and I also found this magnetic strip at my local thrift, and I couldn't say no. So what I'm thinking is maybe when I make the hem in the tarp, I could put that in the middle of the hem, and hopefully it'll stay there. But yeah, I'm going to measure over a little bit here. It's actually like 33.5 inches all the way across, so I'm going to give it probably another 1.5 inches on each side, so we'll say 36.5 overall, and then 1.5 inches hem on each side. And the roof is actually tapered. As it goes back, it kind of goes inward, so back there is around like 32. So I'm going to have to get a little bit creative when I make the hems in it, but I think I have it figured out. And all right, I think I've got this laid out pretty decent here. At least as good as I can. I didn't have any kind of straight edge because I left it all at my previous job, but yeah, I think that's looking really pretty decent. What I'm going to do is, so I'm going to be using the black side up. But so this is going to be the bottom side towards the inside of the car, and I have it this way so I could put this hem in there, and the hem is going to go pretty much like that, and it's quite a bit stronger once you put the hem in, and the ends aren't going to fray out and what have you. This here has adhesive strip on it, and what I'm going to do is actually flip this over and stick it to the silver side, and then flip this over and hem it up. I hope to use a keen eye and follow one of the ribs all the way down to make sure it's straight. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that. Looking good. Alright, so here's how it's looking so far. I'm kind of digging it. It's not so bad. It's definitely not going to hold down though. I'm definitely going to need like a wind deflector on the front. And then my snaps are going to go in behind the magnetic strip right around there. This is the type of hem I was talking about. The magnetic strip is inside that hem, and I mean, it lays down and it holds on there pretty good. I'm digging that. It's just not strong enough to really keep it down. Yeah, just folded that over, hemmed it over with the magnetic strip on the inside. I'm pretty much digging it. I took a little trip, and this obviously did not hold whatsoever. Definitely going to have to get a wind deflector on the front of this, but for right now what I'm going to do is put my buttons in. I'm going to basically line it up to where I think it's pretty much centered on there, and then start with my center button and work my way out here, and then work my way down. What I did was I cut some pieces out from where it was hemmed on the original tarp there, and I think I'm going to put that as a backer up underneath of there, just to give it some extra strength because you actually have to press these buttons all the way through the tarp. So I'm going to try that there. Yeah, so let's do it. First row's in. She's held tight. Gonna get my next row. I think I'm just going to go down the line here, stop in the middle, and then do my cross section, and then just keep on going back. It's turning out. What you think? And you know what, guys? I'm about to call this a completed project. I've got one more thing to put on there, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. The sun came out and actually shrank that tarp quite a bit, and it sucked down to the point where I like it. Went on the inside, cleaned that sharp ass edge up with some gasket, and that's looking pretty good, so I don't chop my neck when I stick my head out the window. And yeah, I'll tell you, I got to finish that last back hole up with some, but I'm really digging the way that it's coming out now. Man, that sun came out and beat up my hemmed edge. That's sitting down flush now. It made the tarp tight up at the top. I'm about to take y'all for a ride, and we'll see how it acts together. All right, so here's the view from the inside. Put that gasket material on there that was just off of a Honda Civic, actually, and yeah, between the sun shrinking the tarp a little bit and that gasket, it's sitting up there pretty nice, I'd say. Couldn't be too much happier with it, really. So just if you're asking, that gasket material was off of a trunk of like a 2000 Honda Civic. And I just put it on there and just kind of hammered it in, and yeah, it fit in there pretty good. I do have that gap right there, which is kind of ugly, and then we got the edge of the headliner that I'm not really quite sure what to do with, but yeah, it's a little bit unfinished. The top's looking good, open, just like you wanted it, and yeah, I really don't mind the way that it came out at all. Guys, you know the deal. If you like the video, please like the video. Drop a like on the video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. I'd really like to get a little bit more consistent on my uploading again. I was doing a couple other things in my professional career, but I really want to get back into the body shop and then make some YouTube videos again. I got a couple ideas for stuff out there, like painting this thing with one of the Magna I don't even know how you say it, the anime style paint jobs, where you like do all kinds of crazy stuff to it and paint it with the markers and stuff like that. I really dig those style paint jobs, so I want to do one for myself. But yeah, like the video if you like the video, drop the subscribe. Really appreciate you guys watching. Card Craftsman out.